welcome to Vacation Station, hosted by Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazines.com.
Our favorite wanderluster, Jodi Canter, who's the owner of Wanderlust, awesome gear for park junkies. This is amazing stuff. She is back on Big Blend Radio today to give us the scoop on her park adventures this year, which include Katmai National Park and Preserve in Alaska and Gateway Arch National Park in St. Louis, Missouri, our 60th national park. So now you've got to go check out our website because I'm telling you, the gear is cool. wanderlust-mark.com, or you can go to national-park-junkie.com. They'll both get you there. And then after we chat with Jodi, we've got some special music. We like music. Cool. We have a song called Wanderlust that we must play for her.
Go figure.
I know, it's by Aoede. We love Aoede, and singer-songwriter Aoede. And we have the song Alaska from Robbie Boyd that we need to do because, you know, she went to Alaska.
I'm jealous.
And we have some Hollywood history. Mm-hmm. Steve Schneickert's Hollywood History segment. It's an awesome podcast series that he has, and this one is all about movies filmed in Western National Park. So this is going to be a very cool show today. Don't forget, you can go to nationalparktraveling.com to keep up with all kinds of stories and interviews and videos we have done on national parks, all kinds of national park units, whether it's a historic trail or a national park or a seashore, it's all up there. But first off, welcome back, Jodi. How are you?
I am great. It's great to be back, Lisa. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, you know, I knew you were going to Katmai, and the last time we spoke with you, we were talking about the sequoias and how you really wanted to see bear, and now you went to the land of bear. I mean, it really is, huh?
It really is. Yeah, last year when I hit Yosemite, Sequoia, Kings Canyon, I kind of was in what I call the bear drought. I didn't see any bears out there, though the scenery was spectacular, and it was one of my favorite trips. I'm a big bear person. So I'm like, where can I go? And so Katmai is the land of the bears, and it did not disappoint. We probably saw like 15 to 25 bears a day out there, which was incredible.
Wow.
I know, right? I'm not kidding you. I don't know if we just got lucky. I know they said it like the day before we were there. They did a little head count out there, and they had 32 bears out there in the Brooks Falls area. And I think the most we saw was about 25. It was everywhere you looked, there were bears. It was unbelievable.
Okay, listen, can I just tell you, I know that being green with envy and jealous is just not being jealous is not a good quality, but I cannot help it. Like,
Oh, I know.
Seeing them fish too. So because this is, you know, when we think about bears in national park, Katmai National Park and Preserve, which is celebrating its centennial this year. It was established December 2nd. So, so this 100-year anniversary year, so that's a good year for you to go.
Right.
But this is that iconic, you know, we just see the bears standing on that waterfall catching the salmon. And so did you see that actually happen?
I did see that. Yeah, I think all of us have that iconic picture in our head. I think it was by the photographer, Thomas Mangelson, where he's got the big brown bear with the salmon just about in his mouth, you know. And you stand on a platform out there overlooking Brooks Falls, and the bears just all kind of come there. And you see the salmon jumping out of the falls, you know, jumping through the water, and the bears just reaching out with either their mouths or their paws, trying to, you know, secure the fish, and they'd catch one and they'd walk away and they'd eat it. But sitting on the platform, you can hear like all the camera clicks at that same instant when that fish is going right into the bear's mouth, and everybody's on continuous mode on their cameras, and it's like paparazzi. It's like all these cameras just pop, 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 because everybody wants that iconic Mangelson image. I think I may have one of those, certainly not of his composition, of his quality. It might even be blurry at this point. I don't know, because I haven't looked at my pictures, but I know I at least got that fish going into the bear's mouth a couple of times, which was pretty exciting.
That is awesome. And I know that,
cool.
And you post such amazing photos. I love following you on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and everyone. You can go to @wanderlust-mark. You'll find her there, and just you always inspire, you you just want to get out and start hiking, right? But I'm excited to watch it. That that photo we were talking about was the photographer Thomas. Did you see his interview on 60 Minutes?
I did see it, yeah.
Man, I want to go out with him. I was like, move over, Anderson Cooper. I want to go in. Let me do it. Let me do it.
Yeah.
So when you were there, did you spend most of your time at Brooks Camp, or did you go hiking and take any trails?
Yeah, you do a lot of research before you get out there, but until you get there, you don't really know how it actually, runs out there. But you get to the base camp, and it's about a little over a mile walk, to Brooks Falls. And so you would just kind of walk out there, and sometimes there'd be a little waiting list to get on the actual platform. So you put your name on the list with the ranger, and they would tell you how long it'll be. And then they let you out there like at an hour at a time, because everybody is there for the same reason, to get on that platform to see the bears. So you'd spend an hour out there. The rangers would come out, politely call your name and say, okay, it's time to exit. You'd leave. You'd immediately put your name back on the list. And then there's another lower platform that you could go to, and there were bears down there as well. They just weren't feeding like right as the salmon coming over the falls, but you had plenty to see down there. There were bears all along the trails, even to and from the camp to the falls. I mean, you would just encounter them, walking out there. So a mother and her cubs, single bears, they were everywhere. It was bear heaven.
Man, this is amazing. It's like, it sounds like the Brooks Camp Boogie. Everybody take your turn. That's this is. I was going to say it's like the DMV, but this is bear heaven. Like it's a different thing. So I was reading that there's an area called a Valley of 10,000 Smokes, and that's got lava flows. I mean, now I'm feeling like Hawaii met up with Alaska here.
Yeah, it kind of is. I think they kind of refer to it as the land of fire and ice, or between fire and ice, or something like that. We thought about taking that tour of the Valley of the 10,000 Smokes, but quite honestly, I didn't want to leave the bears. So we decided not to do that. But we talked to many people who went out on that tour, because it is rich with volcanic history there. And in fact, when it was first made a national monument, I think it was because of all of that volcanic ruin that's out there.
Oh,
and then eventually it became more of a bear preservation, and that's the more popular touristy thing, is to see the bears. But I did not go on that tour. I heard incredible things about it, but I opted just to spend my 3 days with the bears.
Wow. So this is in southern Alaska. So did you get out and see any of the gateway communities, or did you just go right to the park, right to the bears? So he's like, take me to the bears.
Yeah, no, we did, a couple of days in the beginning in Anchorage, and actually, this is my third time in Alaska, so I've done some of the other cities out there. So this time we went to Whittier, a small little town out there, which was kind of cool, because I had read that they have like one big, almost like an apartment complex building, where 75% of the residents of Whittier live in that one building, which I thought was interesting. Wow. And it's like the bottom floors is their police department, their post office, their grocery store. They just all live in this one big communal building. But it's surrounded by mountains and glaciers, and the Prince William Sound was there. So we went with the company and did some jet skiing out at Prince William Sound, and went out to, I think it was like 21 miles, and we saw 10 glaciers, which was incredible.
Wow, that's amazing. No, the glaciers, I'm laughing at one of our, Aoede guests as well, Spontaneous Rob. He invented a musical board game. And he's doing good. I mean, he's at the top of Amazon at like the best-selling board game last year over the holidays. Wow. So he beat out like Monopoly and everything. It's a fun game.
Really?
Yeah. But today it was just funny, because he posted on Instagram. He's from Montana, and today he finally got out to Glacier National Park for the first time. And he got in the water, which is turquoise, and there's these big chunks of ice floating on the top. Like, crazy. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. I mean, it was just so amazing, seeing. I don't know, maybe it's because we're in the desert right now in monsoon season. Floating ice kind of appeals to me.
Yeah, that's when I left Chicago. It was pretty warm here. We were in the middle of that hot swell too. It was like in the 90s, and it was neat. Then our second day there in Alaska, we bundled up and hit the jet skis, and we were amongst icebergs floating in the water because we had to be careful and maneuver our way around those, and looking at glaciers. And
wow,
that was a different change of environment very quickly for us.
That is a change. I mean, I never even thought about jet skis and ice and floating ice and going around on a glacier.
Yeah,
I know. Did you drive them? I mean, or ride? I mean, did you steer? I don't even know about
Yeah.
Cool.
I did, and that was a newer excursion for me. I mean, we've gone rafting in Denali, we've gone on different excursions or whatever, but the jet ski one kind of came up, and I saw it online. I'm like, let's try this. And actually, it turned out to be funny because we thought this will be less work than maybe kayaking. We'll just take the jet ski. How easy is that? Because it's on Prince William Sound, and they say the waters are really calm. Well, we ended up getting a day where the waters were not so calm. And in fact, when we came back, our guide told us that he had thought about 3 times along the way that we should turn back. In his words, he said we had 5-foot swells, which I know nothing about that because I'm not a jet skier. This is one of the first times I've done this. But I think it was a little on the dangerous side for us to even be out there. And it was a lot of work. I think kayaking somewhere at a little bit more comfortable pace would have been better. But it was an adventure that we lived through, and we got to see a lot, and it just made for an exciting story. But it was a rough go there for a while because the waves were, pretty high.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust myself. I mean, I'd be too scared. I'm more on the kayaking side, but
yeah,
I want armbands.
I know. And I always get yelled at, because I don't go fast enough. The guide that was with us had to pull up next to me, and he's like, you understand that 25 miles an hour is slow. And I was going about 18. And I thought I was clipping. I thought I was cool. And he's like, you got to pick up the pace. But I'm telling you, the waves were just so big. It was hard. But I think I finally topped out at about 38 miles an hour. And that was pretty scary for me. But, it was scary, but we ended up having a ball, and, all was good.
It's always good to have those experiences, those rushes, going back to the bears. I mean, when you're, walking around and everything and hiking around and seeing them, I mean, they were there. So, I mean, did you get nervous around them at all? Because, I mean, they are big. They are really big, some of them. I will tell you that Katmai does a wonderful job with, having humans coexist with the bears out there. You recognize right away you are in their world. You're at the bottom of the food chain, in terms of, who's in charge out there. You just totally respect them and their space, and you respect the Park Service and what they ask you to do, not bringing any food in your backpacks out there, not eating out there, giving the bears space, and you feel like you're okay. Now, there was one time when we were walking back that 1.2 miles back to the base camp or whatever, that there was a bear up in front of us, and there were there's a lot of people walking on the trail. So there were other people in front of us hey, there's a bear up there. And he was kind of walking ahead of us, same direction we were going. So it wasn't too bad. But then he turned direction, and he kind of was walking back our way. And so we started to walk back the other way, let's keep going backwards now. And then we ran into another bear. And that was a little disconcerting, for a couple of seconds. But they're very habituated. They know that we're there. They don't care too much about us as long as we don't, infringe upon their space, don't startle them, don't get between a mom and her cubs or whatever. And they ended up just kind of meandering off. But for a split second there, when we were surrounded by bears, it was pretty jarring. Wow. And I mean, we've got bear sightings out here in the mountains, and people are saying, oh, take bear spray. Now, is that something to do? Or, I mean, I don't even know how to use that. I mean,
you spray it on the bear.
You spray it on the bear? Well, I don't know.
It gets that close.
I mean,
I think I'd be running.
If it's mosquito repellent,
right.
which
I did not think about, nor did I ever read any recommendation about bringing bear spray out to Katmai. And again, I think it's just because that Park Service just does a wonderful job of, having both of us coexist out there. I will tell you one other quick story, that when I came back to Anchorage, we went bike riding, because all my vacations are a lot of work. We went bike riding down the, Tony Knowles Coastal Trail there, which is 11 miles in and 11 miles out. And there we came across people who were walking the trail with bear spray. And I'm thinking, should I have bear spray out here? I knew there were a lot of moose there because I had ridden that trail before, so I was excited to try to find moose. But we ended up finding a bear, again, a black bear, small black bear. So I know why now they were bringing the bear spray because, you know, that's a little bit more, I think just because they're not as habituated, you know, as the ones in Katmai were. So that was a little bit more like on the wild side, like you kind of encountered a bear. But so we start like getting away from this bear who's coming up a bluff on our trail, and we're walking, you know, our bikes. And then we see a family stopped and they're looking at a moose. So there's a moose on the trail in front of us. And then we stop. We're like, oh, let's take pictures of the moose. We're like, wait, we forgot about the bear behind us. We look, and the bear, no lie, is on the path coming at us. So at this point, too, we are now surrounded between a bear behind us and a moose in front of us.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. I wish I would have videotaped. I didn't. At that point, I got scared. And there was a little turn out there. So we were able to take our bikes and just kind of, you know, get out of the way. And there was a moose bear stare down just for a few seconds there. And then the bear just went back into the woods. But who can say that you, again, were surrounded by moose and bear at the same time?
I would be in heaven. I would be in heaven.
I know.
I want to move there. Now,
yeah.
And I want to make sure when we talk about bears, you're saying, okay, that was a black bear, but the bears at Brook Falls, those are brown bears, or are they grizzly?
Yeah.
Well,
that's what I was trying to find out, because as much as I love bears, my education on bears isn't as strong as, you know, everybody else that's out there. They seem to know all the bears and things. But I think, you know, brown bears and grizzlies are of the same. But in coastal areas where the brown bears feed mainly on a diet of salmon, they're referred to just as brown bears. But if they're more inland, then they're referred to as grizzlies. But they look, I mean, they have that hump on the back of their neck. I mean, they look like grizzlies. So I kind of sort of think it's a little interchangeable at this point. But the one we saw in Anchorage was a black bear, which was totally different.
Yeah, that is different. But so, man, I really want to go to Alaska. I'm just.
So where do you get to see those big Kodiak bears?
Now that would be, there's that little island there, the Kodiak Island. I know that's like on my next name. Like, should I go to Kodiak Island? Because those now are the largest bears of all, I think.
Bears.
Big bears.
Yeah.
Like, I think they can stand like 14 feet tall or something crazy like that. So that's,
Jodi,
that's
it. Big. Yeah, get out there. Get out there. Get out there. Yeah, go on.
I think I'll let you guys go.
Okay, we'll go. You know what? I have a thing about it. You know, just it's so funny because when you have those animal encounters, and it's like I don't know. Don't you feel like you really just become like so alive and so aware of every breath, every move?
Yeah.
You know, and that's just, to me, it's a good thing. It's healthy for us all to experience. On another side of it, I know that you went to Gateway Arch National Park, and that's our 60th park. I know when we spoke in January, it wasn't even 100% whether or not it was going to be a park. And I think it was like a couple days later, they said, oh, now it's a park.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
You know, and I know that because your T-shirts have the 59 parks. So now do you have a 60 parks on your T-shirts?
Yeah, once they, made that official, then I had to go and change the screen for the back of my shirt, which is fine. Happy to add another park. So I do now have new shirts, and even I added a couple of different colors out there now that have number 60 on there. And I felt that since here right in the Midwest that I had to take the drive down to St. Louis, which is only about a 4-hour drive here from the Chicagoland area, for the dedication. And that was on July 3rd of this summer. And it was really cool to be there for that. I mean, to be part of history, to be there when they're actually dedicating a new national park. I mean, I'd been to the Arch as a young kid before, but now that it was, proclaimed as a national park, not a national monument, it was a cool thing to be a part of. It was hot in St. Louis in July.
To get in the water. There's water. Apparently, they have quite a nice trail system going all the way around the Arches. Like there's like a riverfront walk or something. Did you? Yeah. So there's trails.
I did a little bit. It really was just kind of a quick trip to get down there to be part of the dedication, take some pictures, buy some stuff at the gift store as I always do, and then head home. But I did walk a little bit of the trail. Yeah, the grounds there are very, very pretty. They do a great job there.
Well, I think it's an interesting park. I'm very fascinated with Missouri because of everybody, heading west, and I know that Thomas Jefferson is part of this in sending out Lewis and Clark, and even when you think about the Oregon Trail and the California Trail, and all these trails, these historic trails that are within our park system. Hopefully, Route 66 will be the next one. I mean, I think it's getting close to a yes for that. I'm really hoping.
Oh, I haven't heard that. That's cool.
Oh, cool.
That'd be
cool.
Because it belongs with brown signs.
Yeah, it does.
We want the brown signs. But that's the thing. To me, this whole westward expansion and the exploring that like Lewis and Clark did, I'm in love with that story, and I would love to go to Missouri just to be there, where it's the hub of change. And it's so interesting because during the Civil War and historically, Missouri has been kind of a divided, interesting area,
Yeah.
Historically. So I want to go. And they have good wine.
I tell you what, everybody in St. Louis, it was like the nicest city. Everybody that you encountered in St. Louis, whether, they were working there, or they were, just local residents that you stopped and asked some directions or so on the street, or if you're just, other tourists that were even there for other reasons and or for the dedication. Everybody was just so super nice there. It was just a wonderful experience. And I wish I had the opportunity to have a few more days there, but it was a quick trip, but it was definitely a pleasant one.
When they do dedications, do they have people stand up and present and like explain the history of the park and things like that, or what happened? Do they give you cake? That's important.
They gave us cookies with the arch on it, so I did get cookies.
Cool.
Oh.
Yeah, they gave us a coin, a medallion coin, which was kind of cool, and they did have a panel of people that spoke. I think everybody shortened their speeches by quite a bit because it was in the direct sunlight and the blazing sun. It was hot. It was humid. We were melting in the audience. I mean, it was a tough place to sit.
Oh.
But they had, their senators presented, the people that were on the committee to, get it turned into a national park were there. Secretary Zinke was there. And then other people, I kind of don't remember all their titles, but they had a panel that spoke and gave you a little bit about the history and, more importantly, how they really dedicated themselves to get this named as a national park. In fact, the people of St. Louis voted to allow their taxes to be raised to fund a lot of the work that went behind the scenes, the renovation of the museum and everything. So it's a nice sign of the community to say, yeah, we're behind this and we're willing to have our taxes raised a little bit to make us stand out. And so they're very proud of their city there, and it shows.
I think it's great when communities come together. I know even when Stonewall, working towards that was a difficult one. And it took a long time. And Pullman, in your neck of the hood of Chicago,
right?
That Pullman Historic District. Because that's the whole district, right? And that was a big community thing to do to get that out.
That was
a historic site or district. I have to look it up which one it is, but that's interesting history too. Pullman's pretty. He's interesting. There's good and not so good from what I've read.
And that site is pretty neat too. I mean, it just kind of preserves a moment in time. You just, again, you feel like you just go back a little bit in time with all the railroad history there and the buildings. It was kind of neat. Yeah.
That's the thing. I always find that the parks, we go for the bears and the trees and the, the mountains and all of that. And, but I always find that there's some kind of history in a national park. There's something of the people that live there. Did you see any of that at Katmai? Any of, the First Nation? We don't say First Nation. We've been doing a lot on Canada lately, so I'm saying First Nation and everything. The First Nation, the First Peoples, which I think we should be saying here. But, just saying, did you learn any history about the people of when you were in that park?
Yeah, not really. Not at Katmai. I'm trying to think. You feel just through things, the way they're named or some of the way things are explained, you feel that little bit of cultural history. I would say more when I was in Anchorage. I did a trolley tour this time through Anchorage and learned a little bit more of the history there. Yeah, and and I'm reading a book on Alaska, of course, because that's what you have to read when you travel there. So yes. I'm kind of getting a little bit of flavor that way as well.
Very cool, man. I'm dying to get up there. That's exciting. You had some good adventures. I love it. And so I wanted to go back to your gear because, like, hey, you must dress to impress when you go to parks, and you must wear your gear, your wanderlust gear, our little socks.
I do.
I know you bump into people wearing your T-shirts, and but now you've got hats. This is cool.
Yeah,
that's a good thing. Yeah,
you need hats.
Yeah. It's it's cool because when you wear it, it just automatically again sparks a conversation. Like somebody will see the shirt on me and they immediately just start talking like, how many have you been to? What's your favorite one? Or then they start telling you their travels. And I'm not a really good salesperson, so I don't always turn around, hand out a business card, and give them my web address and say I'm actually selling them. Sometimes I just play it off as, I'm just a girl wearing a T-shirt. I love it myself. I love the parks, and just kind of end the conversation that way. If they continue talking about it, then like if they say to me, where did you get it? Then I kind of go into my spiel of selling them. But it's just a great tool to start a conversation with people.
Well, it just whips one out of her
backpack. I know. She just
here you go.
Got an extra suitcase. She's going through the
what's your size?
Going up to the bears like hello. But I'm looking at your hats now. I like it with the America, the outline of the country, and then having national-park-junkie in the middle, and then I like the one too with the footprint. We love our hiking and walking here, so that's
right. Yeah,
the footprint right, and like boom in the middle. That's right. I like that. And of
course, and that's
our
the hat, the one with the footprint. That's our our actual company logo, that wanderlust footprint, the yearning to wander, which starts with your soul, SOLE. And then we have the National Park Junkie hats and the Hoo-Rags. I've not updated those yet. I still have a few more to sell before I put in a new order to put number 60 on there, but the Hoo-Rags do okay. They're so great to have. I have mine on the trail all the time because in Alaska, I'll tell you, it helped with mosquitoes when I wrapped it around my neck. When you're out in the cold, I put it around my face, and it kind of protects you from the wind and the cold. And then last year in Yosemite, when it was so unbearably hot, I dipped it in ice water and put it around my neck that way too, and it kept me cool. So they are handy.
That's Nancy's thing. I should have worn it this morning because we got nailed. The monsoon season here in Tucson is interesting. I love it because it's drama, and then everything greens up, and cactus are opening and birds are like digging. Just a cool. It's cool to have 5 seasons, but it wasn't so cool. It was really muggy. I mean, we were out at 4:30 this morning. 4:30, 4:40,
and it was so dark.
I know. I don't know why it was dark, and then it was just an odd morning.
Yeah.
And all this, and take a flashlight. The mosquitoes, suddenly it was just like they were just like with us the entire time. I'm bitten all over the place, and there's these big ones that I think there's like a wasp almost. I don't know if there's a mosquito wasp, but it felt like that. So mosquitoes in Alaska, huh? So that's something
I bet there's a lot like Canada's. Just whoa.
Yeah, and I was nervous about that because everybody said, the mosquitoes in Alaska are really big, and there's so many of them. So I went out and bought the heavy-duty bug spray. I never used it. I'm not going to say that I didn't get bit because I have 1 or 2 bites that actually were kind of big, but I never felt like I was overwhelmed with mosquitoes. I never felt like they were all over the place and I needed to escape. But you read signs out there and they kind of, is a joke. They say their national bird is the mosquito or, something because they're so big. Yeah. But it didn't feel that way to me. Now, that's not to say I don't want to give anybody bad advice. Still bring your bug spray and whatever protection you need. But but it really was not that bad.
Well, that's good. And now, okay, so you were saying earlier you've got new shirts coming out for the fall, or just you said a long sleeve T-shirt coming out.
Yeah, I do. I've had some people actually ask for that too, some long sleeve shirts. It won't be a national park junkie one though, so it's just going to stay with our outdoorsy hiking theme, the wanderlust, get out there and hike theme. So on the front of it, it'll have a design with some mountains and, eagles, sunset, sun setting or whatever, and it'll have a little expression on the bottom of it about being outdoors and being hiking. So we haven't revealed it yet. I don't even have it in stock yet. I'm going to get it in the next week or so, but we'll definitely have it for the fall time.
Oh, excellent. That's exciting. What a cool business,
Yeah,
it's cool.
Fun.
It's a fun business. And so your trips are all a write-off because
I know, right?
That's a smart thing, I'm just saying. But okay, so everyone go to wanderlust-mark.com or go to national-park-junkie.com and follow Jodi on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook just at wanderlust-mark. And you can connect obviously through the website. But we've got a special song for you, Jodi. If the song is called Wanderlust, we have to play it. It's a little bit more about world travel. It's from our friend Aoede. Actually, her name is Lisa Sniderman, a singer-songwriter out in the Bay Area, and she loves parks and nature and science, and also from the educational side of the world. And this song is Wanderlust. She really wanted to go traveling, and she was doing things where, she just was at a place where she couldn't go travel yet, And, when you have the travel itch,
Oh, yeah.
It's horrible. It's it's the worst thing.
You gotta do something.
Yeah. So anyway, she wrote a song.
Do something.
And everyone, you can go to aodemuse.com, and it's AOEDE. Aoede, it's the muse of music. So aodemuse.com, and right after that, we're going to play some Hollywood history from Steve Schneickert on Western National Parks. Movies filmed in Western National Parks, and we're going to close with an awesome song called Alaska by Robbie Boyd, and he's based in England, but he's also kind of a wanderluster because he travels around the world as well. You could go to his website, robbie-boyd.com, and here it is, some music. Don't forget, keep up with us at bigblendradio.com. Thanks so much for joining us, Jodi.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
What's this I'm feeling? Can't stop daydreaming of distant places, of unfamiliar faces. I can't sit still. I'm jumping planes and riding rails and reading first editions in sidewalk cafes. Oh, this must be wanderlust, 'cause I just wanna be anywhere but where I belong. Where can I go to forget the mess I've made and just leave it behind, leave it behind? Why's my heart aching? Can't stop these cravings for adventures, for daily detours. I can't stay here. I'm rambling roads, trekking trails, exploring church arches and metal doorways. Oh, this must be wanderlust, 'cause I just wanna be anywhere but where I belong. Where can I go to forget the mess I made and just leave it behind? Let's go somewhere roads were made for journeys. Don't care where, the point is getting there. Let's go somewhere where our hearts lead us. Don't care where, the point is, oh, this must be wanderlust, 'cause I just wanna be anywhere but where I belong. Where can I go to forget the mess I've made and just leave it behind, leave it behind? Oh, this must be wanderlust, 'cause I just wanna be anywhere but where I belong. Where can I go to forget the mess I made and just leave it behind, leave it behind? Oh, this must be wanderlust. Yeah, this feels like
national parks have provided the backdrop for hundreds of films throughout the years. Movie directors appreciate these lands because of their undeveloped character. In addition to providing Americans and visitors with clean air, fresh water, and top-notch recreation, our national parks and forests also bring flashes of rustic beauty and realism to the movies. 1977's Close Encounters of the Third Kind, when Richard Dreyfuss's obsession with UFOs leads him to an isolated area where aliens land, he is actually gravitating towards Devil Tower National Monument, a geologic feature that towers over the prairie in the northeastern corner of Wyoming. Other scenes in the Steven Spielberg science fiction film were shot within the Black Hills National Forest, also in northeastern Wyoming. The Shining, 1980. Opening scenes of this creepy Red Rum film shows Jack Torrance, played by Jack Nicholson, driving up the Going to the Sun Road in Glacier National Park, Montana. Overhead shots were also filmed around Mary's Lake. The supposedly haunted Stanley Hotel is located in Estes Park, just a stone's throw from Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado. Glacier National Park is part of the Crown of the Continent, one of America's most intact ecosystems. 1982's E.T., the Extraterrestrial. Who can forget the beautiful redwood forested scenes of a classic Steven Spielberg film that tenderly portrays the friendship between a boy and an awkward but cute-looking alien? The redwood scenes were all shot in and around Redwood National Park and state parks in California. E.T. Phone Home. Based on the nonfiction book by John Krakauer, Into the Wild is a 2007 American biographical drama survival film written, co-produced, and directed by Sean Penn. Christopher McCandless, son of wealthy parents, graduates from Emory University as a top student and athlete. Instead of embarking on a prestigious and profitable career, he chooses to give his savings to charity, rids himself of his possessions, and sets out on a journey to the Alaskan wilderness. In April 1992, Christopher arrives in a remote area just north of the Denali National Park and Preserve in Alaska. At first, he is content with the isolation, the beauty of nature around him, and the thrill of living off the land. Eddie Vedder's song Guaranteed won the Golden Globe for Best Original Song. The film was also nominated for 2 Academy Awards, namely Best Editing and Hal Holbrook for Best Supporting Actor. I am Steve Schneickert, and this is Hollywood History as I recall it.
Oh, Alaska, won't you give me shelter and take me under your wing? Alaska, I heard you're the last great place the earth has ever seen. Oh, Alaska, won't you take me somewhere I can go to get a change of pace? Oh, Alaska, can you paint me a picture of your beautiful embrace? Dreaming of home, can you see it? I've been here for too long, can you feel it? I'm moving home to the last frontier. Well, if you gotta move on, let me hear it. You got to be strong to achieve it. We'll do it our way on the last frontier. Oh, Alaska, I'll look north to the future. That's how I want to live my life. Oh, Alaska, be mine, Mother Nature, I can't wait to see your northern lights. Oh, Alaska, come a little closer, I have nearly reached your silver shores. Oh, Alaska, you're not like the others, you can show me what I'm looking for. Dreaming of home, can you see it? I've been here for too long, can you feel it? I'm moving home to the last frontier. Well, if you gotta move on, let me hear it. You got to be strong to achieve it. We'll do it our way on the last frontier. If you gotta move on, let me hear it. You got to be strong to achieve it. We'll do it our way on the last frontier.